Good morning, my twinnies. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the connections today. You may or may not resonate with this. I often share through experience on my own twin flame journey, so it gets kind of personal for me. All right, so we've got some root chakra stuff coming up, okay? So let's have a look. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I always, when I do these readings, I always ask my Divine Masculine's higher self which I guess is my higher self, but my Divine Masculine aspect, to give us some sort of information on what we are facing in the 3D and how to navigate that, okay? Okay, so root chakra. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Divine Masculine. What do we need to know about the root chakra here? Okay, third eye and choose your battles. Okay, so there's root chakra and third eye chakra stuff coming up here. And we're getting, okay, this is interesting. So we're actually getting a bird's eye view. We're getting a choice here. We're able to see what's going on. We're able to see quite clearly what is going on in these connections right now. And yes, what you are thinking or wondering is going on. And you're getting the choice to choose how you want to navigate this, okay? So you're getting this like burst of like stability and security within your root chakra. These two chakras are really sort of like guiding this right now and supporting you in choosing how you want to navigate what's going on. We've got share the love here and flow. Okay. Yeah, balance. So the both of you are merging here in a new way. The Divine Masculine is asking you, how do you want to handle this? You have enough information, Divine Feminine, to choose how you want to handle yourself in this situation. Either way, there's balance being restored, and whatever situation you are finding yourself in right now in your connection, that is coming up and that is happening so that you guys can find balance. This is interesting. The channeling and the information isn't flowing nearly as easily as it usually does. Strengthening bonds. And we got this card yesterday. Lead and coming together. Okay, so we had these cards yesterday too. So whatever you choose today, Divine Feminine, you are choosing how your masculine leads in this connection. That's super powerful. You are choosing how they come together for you. And yesterday, remember how I said like they've got this pearl here? A pearl could be like some sort of symbology or symbolism that like confirms things for you. Last night, after some stuff went down between me and my masculine, we were watching a show, and on the show, someone was talking about a pearl necklace, and it hit me right in front of my face. Totally forgot all about that. So you are being given the opportunity to choose how your Divine Masculine leads. And what I mean by choose how he leads, this is not like in a controlling way. This is how you choose to navigate yourself and how you choose to be in this situation, how you choose to approach this situation will naturally influence the way in which your masculine leads, the way in which you guys come together. So you're being left with an important task, trust. So the main thing here is for you to trust that no matter what is showing up, however you choose to go about this, what battle you choose to fight, trust is going to be a major aspect when it comes to trusting yourself to make that right decision. I think this is really going to be you pushing yourself in a direction that you haven't naturally, you don't naturally come to. This is a choice. This is a conscious choice. You're choosing your battle. You're choosing your strategy. Darkest fears and blossom. We've got helpless and hopeless underneath. So yeah, you're feeling really you're feeling it's like you're in this like stage of blossoming between an old way of being and really just coming into a new way of being, divine feminine. And I think this has a lot to do with building a secure attachment. You're working on your either anxious or avoidant tendencies. And your divine masculine might have been sort of like triggering that a little bit. And it's always on purpose. Like whenever it's triggering your sense of self, your confidence in the connection, your confidence in your divine masculine, and really needing to sort of trust yourself, trust that it's okay, trust your divine masculine. This has been quite difficult for you. And darkest fears. You've been dealing with some of your darkest fears for the longest time now, divine feminine. But today you are blossoming into a new version of you. You're merging with your divine masculine in a new way. Wow. Okay, let's ask the divine masculine how this merging is happening regarding what's going on for you guys. And I feel like this is about you, divine feminine, holding a sense of stability for your connection. It's like you aren't used to being the one to sort of have that stability. You're used to your divine masculine bringing that sense of security and stability to the connection. And when things are off with your divine masculine, when they're struggling or when they are going through something, they may, and a lot of these divine masculines are avoidant attached, and a lot of the divine feminines are anxious attached or disorganized, or and when your divine masculine detaches because of their inability to nurture their own feelings, or because they deny their own emotions, or because they don't want to disappoint you, that sort of really throws off your sense of stability here with the root chakra. Okay, but this has been happening for a lot of twins I've talked about these last couple of days, where, and this is a repeating cycle from the last 12 months. This is when the divine masculines really started to become, show their avoidance, really started to shut down and really show their avoidant side. And a lot of us struggled 12 months ago to really deal with this. It brought up a lot of fear. It brought up a lot of our relational trauma, that we didn't even know we had. And this is why these twin flame relationships are so important, because it makes us aware of things that need to be healed that we didn't even know existed. Like, this is trauma that, for me that I had that I didn't even know I had because I'd never been in a healthy relationship. I'd never been with a healthy partner. I didn't know how to navigate or how to... It's like in my past relationships, and I know this is the same for a lot of other divine feminines, in my past relationships, I have grown. It's because of those past relationships that I have grown an anxious attachment style. And obviously from childhood. But I've never had a situation where I've been with a healthy partner and my anxious attachment style has come up when... just in a general sense. So I didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going on because they'd never been, my divine masculine had never been in a healthy relationship where their avoidant tendencies, their avoidant attachment style didn't need to be used as a coping mechanism. That's what I'm saying. So there's no coping mechanism needed now. And so this is why we're working on, these groups of twins are working on building a secure attachment through a twin flame lens. Because, and I think the reason why, and people can do this in just regular relationships, but I think for these specific sets of twins, they're working on a secure attachment style through the lens of a twin flame relationship because the trauma goes so deep. And this is why they need the, mechanics of the twin flame connection. So you, divine feminine, are learning how to hold it down for your divine masculine. Your divine masculine knows how to hold it down for you and be there for you and be that stability for you when you're not okay, but you've never had the opportunity to do the same for your divine masculine because you haven't been capable of it because of the unhealed trauma. And I cannot believe that nurture came out. These two cards came out as I was talking about that. So you are now, divine feminine, really getting the opportunity to hold down the fort while your divine masculine works through something. And it's interesting, even when you're not dealing with your divine masculine directly, and this is definitely going to resonate for those who are in physical separation and no contact with their divine masculine, you can work through, and I've said this before, but the divine masculine energy shows up in your life through other people in your life. So for example, perfect example of this is, so it's been a while since my divine masculine has gone in shutdown mode and dissociated and just obviously been under a lot of overwhelm and stress, and he doesn't know how to articulate that. He doesn't tell me when he's stressed or what's going on, because there is a dynamic where I'm always the one that's dysregulated. I'm always the one that needs help. And he sort of assumed that role of, I need to be strong for her. And it's an unspoken dynamic that obviously is coming up to be evened out or balanced out. And that, when he's like that, that triggers my anxious attachment style. And even though I know when he's goes quiet or withdraws or wants time alone, he also can't ask for time alone, I think, because he's worried that it's going to trigger me. Which it probably would, but it's easier for me to deal with it if he were to tell me that he needed time alone. Anyway, my sister is also staying with us at the moment, and she is also avoidant attached. So she can see right through him, and she understands, she knows what his thought process is doing. She knows, so I spent the whole day with her yesterday, and she was just giving me so much perspective and so much insight into what's going on for him when he gets like that. And I was asking her questions that I wish that I could have asked him. And then one day I know I'll be able to. But it was super helpful because it was like I had a little guidebook, and I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And that doesn't feel so personal anymore. That takes my anxiety away completely. And she was like, when you get home, the best thing that you can do is just do your own thing. Don't be in his face, don't ignore him, but don't, ask to spend time together right now, and don't react to his energy. You can feel how you feel, but don't react to his energy, because that's likely going to translate energetically, and he will feel that pressure. He'll close up more. And so with that information, I was like, I can do that. That's so easy. And it's sort of like, when your child is scared, when a child is scared and it's not a scary thing, but you want to help them see that it's not scary, or, or when they fall over, you don't go, oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, look at that scrape. You go, whoopsie daisy. And you don't react. It's like not reacting to what's going on, not reacting to the dysregulation, to the trauma response. And it's not to not acknowledge it, Divine Feminine, but it is to make them feel safe enough to come back towards you. And that's exactly what happened. I gave him some space, and then it was our ritual night. We get the same thing every Sunday night for dinner. And he came out of the room and he was still not himself, but he was like, oh, do you want to go now? I said, yeah. I said, do you want me to drive? And he goes, no. And I was like, okay. And then we went, and then, 5 minutes of silence while we were driving. And he was asking me questions, how's such and such? Did you hear back from this? And I was just like, instead of going like, oh, I'm so glad you're talking to me now, I was so worried, I was just answering the questions as they came. I wasn't talking too much. I was just sort of like, I was letting him prompt me. I was letting him engage. I was letting him get into the water as he felt comfortable to. And then on the way back home, he was able to express what had been bothering him. And it was a complete misunderstanding, but he felt comfortable enough to express that he felt like the whole family had had a conversation without him, and he felt hurt because he wasn't consulted. And I was able to explain to him, like, that wasn't the case. There was no conversation without you. There was no conversation about this at all. It was just one of those things that happened. And I think he's still wrapping his head around that. I think he still doesn't necessarily understand how that could happen. But he's going to have to trust. He's going to have to trust that we didn't plan this without him. We didn't, not consult him. It was just one of those things. And I think he still feels hurt about that. But I trust that through my sense of stability, me holding it down for him and not, and letting him feel how he feels. And that is something that, the divine masculines and a lot of masculines in general, men in general, they were never, especially if they had like a single mother and they were like an only child, they weren't allowed to have their own emotions. They had to be this stability for their family, for everyone else, for their mothers. They had to caretake everyone else's emotions. So when it comes to having the floor for their own emotions, it's so scary to them. And it's like, this isn't right. This is not my job. I'm to deal with my emotions myself. And that's where the withdrawing happens. Eventually, they will feel safe enough to just be out with it. And they won't need to stew on it for 24 hours. But me giving him that space to be how he wanted to be, or be how he needed to be, without judgment, without ridicule, without pressure, without expectation, I feel like was monumental. And it felt good for me to do that. It didn't feel like I was like, missing out on having my needs met or anything like that. Yeah, challenging times. Nurturing through the challenging times. And, the divine masculine is often quite, a lot more sensitive than we know. And when we give them space for that, to be that, without judgment, without ridicule, without, without letting them see that they have dysregulated us, and we focus on regulating ourselves. And obviously there's nuance to this. I'm not saying, this is just, turn off your own emotions. No, this is about when it is quite obvious that your partner or your divine masculine is having a trauma response, and this is a difficult thing for them. You give them the space that they need to come forward or process it themselves And you be okay with that regardless. And you outsource. If you are so, I was letting my sister, I was co-regulating with my sister yesterday. That's a sign. I was co-regulating with my sister yesterday. I was, and if she wasn't there, I would have co-regulated with a friend or with somebody else. And I got what I needed. Healing begins. So when we allow our divine masculine the space, beautiful things, amazing things can happen. Let's get one more card. Reach out. Healing begins. Reach out. This is us allowing space. This message really is about allowing either literal space or energetic space for our divine masculine to feel how they feel, to be how they be, to do what they got to do without judgment. Without judgment of ourselves and without judgment of them. And really, this is one of those moments where it's okay to nurture them in this way. This is not about, oh, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. I didn't do none of that. I took on the energy of like, if there's something wrong, he'll tell me. And if not, that's on him. And you have to be able to be okay with that. I saw 2121. So I hope this perspective helped somebody or helped somebody understand something from a different perspective. I'm going to leave this here, I think. And I feel like there's much more that needs to come through. Yeah, detach, shine, confront. Yeah, the divine masculine this is their moment to sort of do what needs to be done here. You don't need to do anything divine masculine, divine feminine, but give them space. All right, guys. If you want to read it with me, I am having a sale on my readings. Head to www.hecatesmoontarot.com. It's up the top. Or the link in my description, or the link in my bio if you're watching on Instagram or YouTube. Don't forget to give this video a like and follow and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you next time.